Since the moment you opened your eyes to this world, a beautiful deception has been whispered into your mind. You are told that life is fair, that justice is inevitable, that if you simply work hard, follow the rules, and remain a good person, you will be rewarded. You are taught that society honors virtue, that success comes to those who wait their turn, that kindness will bring you allies and recognition. But these were not truths. They were lullabies, comforting songs to keep you asleep, while others, less naive, seized the world around you. The reality is much darker and much simpler. The world rewards power, not virtue. It elevates the bold, not the obedient. It crowns the cunning, not the kind. From your first breath, you are surrounded by invisible walls, expectations, traditions, doctrines, all designed to shape you into a compliant, manageable entity. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He didn't believe people were naturally virtuous. He understood they were ruled by fears, greed, ambition, and that rulers must manipulate these instincts, not deny them. Nietzsche went further. He saw that morality itself, the concepts of good and evil, were inventions, not to uplift you, but to control you. When you were taught to be humble, it wasn't for your sake. It was to make you less dangerous to those in power. When you were taught to be patient, it wasn't because patience leads to greatness. It was because those above you needed time to entrench their dominance. When you were taught to play fair, it wasn't because fairness rules the world. It was because those who already held power feared those who might challenge them. The comfortable lie serves a purpose. It keeps you obedient, while the real players move their pieces. It keeps you dreaming, while others act. It keeps you hoping, while others are building, taking, conquering. The vast machine of modern civilization, education, religion, media, works tirelessly to reinforce this lie. They celebrate stories of hard work paying off, while ignoring the countless invisible hands pulling the strings behind the scenes. They glorify perseverance, while hiding the reality ruthless ambition and strategic deception often win the real battles. They sell you underdog stories, while guarding the gates from anyone not already inside the protected circle. The truth they don't tell you is simple. The system was never built to reward virtue. It was built to reward strategy, timing, cunning, force, and above all, power. It is built to punish naivety. The very values you are taught to hold sacred are often the very chains that keep you docile, predictable, harmless. They tell you, your reward is coming. Just keep working, keep obeying, keep believing. But rewards aren't handed down from some cosmic balance sheet. They are seized by those who refuse to wait. Those who refuse to be bound by rules designed to enslave them. The comfortable lie is effective because it flatters you. It tells you you're already doing the right thing. That suffering patiently is noble. That shrinking yourself is virtuous. That waiting quietly will someday be recognized. But history tells a different story. The world does not remember the patient. It does not honor the obedient. It does not worship the humble. It remembers the ambitious. It honors the audacious. It follows those who dared to impose their will on reality, even at the cost of appearing ruthless. The illusion is difficult to abandon because it feels safe. It feels moral. It feels familiar. But if you seek real power, if you seek to truly live rather than merely exist, you must be willing to tear down the lie. You must confront the brutal reality. Life does not reward virtue. It rewards those who understand the game and play it without apology. Until you do, you will remain exactly where they want you, waiting, hoping, dreaming, obeying. Imagine stripping away every story you have been told, every tale of virtue, every promise of reward for goodness, every moral fable meant to tame your instincts. What remains? Beneath the layers of civilization, there is one undeniable force beating in the heart of every living being: the will to power. Nietzsche saw it not as a human invention, but as the fundamental drive of all life. Not survival, not happiness, not comfort. Power. The drive to expand, to impose, to shape reality according to one's will. The plant struggles toward the sun, competing against others for light. The wolf fights for leadership of the pack. The river carves through stone, relentless, unstoppable. Life is domination, or it is extinction. And humans, for all their sophistication, are no different. At your core, beyond the social programming, beyond the false morality imposed upon you, there is an ancient drive to rise, to assert yourself, to carve your own mark into existence. It is not evil. It is not corrupt. It is the engine of greatness. The will to power fuels every act of creation, every conquest, every revolution. It is why civilizations are built and why empires fall. It is why artists paint, why warriors fight, why thinkers dismantle old truths to erect new ones. It is why you have dreams that will not die, ambitions that whisper to you even when the world demands you be satisfied with less. But here's the tragedy. You have been taught to fear your own will to power. You have been told that ambition is selfish, that wanting more is greedy, that asserting yourself is arrogance. You have been trained to apologize for your strength, conditioned to suppress your desire for excellence, taught to be ashamed of your hunger to become more than you are. Why? Because those who fear the powerful have always sought to neuter that power before it could challenge them. If you believe that your desire to rise is evil, you will chain yourself. You will police your own soul. You will shrink yourself voluntarily, saving your rulers the trouble of doing it for you. This is why so few people ever achieve real greatness. It is not because they lack talent. It is not because they lack opportunity. It is because they were convinced that striving for more made them bad people. They were made to feel guilty for refusing to stay small. Those who shape the world are those who reject this lie. They understand the will to power is not a flaw to be corrected. It is a fire to be harnessed. The difference between those who lead and those who follow is not intelligence. It is not education. It is not even luck. It is will. Unapologetic, unconstrained, focused will. Alexander the Great did not conquer the known world because he was the best-behaved boy in Macedonia. Leonardo da Vinci did not revolutionize art and science by asking permission. Entrepreneurs who reshape industries do not wait for consensus. They act, they impose, they carve their vision into reality, even when the world resists, especially when the world resists. The will to power is not reckless violence. It is the disciplined ability to shape your environment, rather than be shaped by it. It is the refusal to passively accept the terms of your existence. It is the demand to be the author of your story, not a footnote in someone else's. But unleashing your will to power requires courage. Courage to face the backlash, courage to endure the envy, the resentment, the sabotage. Courage to walk alone when necessary. Because the world will not celebrate your awakening. It will resist you. It will call you selfish, cruel, dangerous. It will try to pull you back into mediocrity. But understand this, their resistance is proof of your power. Only threats are fought. Only real players are opposed. The will to power is your true nature. Not to serve blindly, not to submit quietly, not to exist passively, but to create, to ascend, to dominate your fate. The lie is that you were born to obey. The truth is that you were born to rule yourself, and through mastery of yourself, the world. Unleash your will to power, or live forever under the rule of those who did. In a world where power governs reality, the strongest weapon ever created was not a sword, not a gun, not even an army. It was an idea. Morality. But not the morality you think you know. Not the universal, divine, pure sense of right and wrong you were taught. Nietzsche revealed a brutal truth. Morality is not one thing. It is two, locked in an eternal war. Slave morality and master morality. Two visions of the world, two codes for living, two paths that lead to vastly different destinies. Slave morality was born from weakness. It is the morality of the oppressed, the conquered, the resentful. It glorifies traits that make the powerless feel superior: humility, patience, meekness, obedience. It demonizes traits that threaten the herd: ambition, pride, strength, independence. Slave morality whispers into your ear, Don't stand out, it's arrogant. Don't seek power, it's evil. Be content with your lot, it's noble. It tells you that suffering is sanctified, that mediocrity is virtue, that ambition is sin. It offers you the comforting fiction that by staying small, you are somehow morally superior to those who strive for more. Master morality, by contrast, arises from strength. It is the morality of the creators, the conquerors, the visionaries. It celebrates the virtues of vitality, courage, excellence, ambition, self-overcoming. It does not ask for permission to exist. It does not wait for validation. It declares a period. I create my own values. I will not apologize for seeking greatness. I will not submit to the resentments of the weak. Master morality does not excuse cruelty for its own sake. It is not about senseless domination. It is about affirming life, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. It is about striving upward, carving new paths, redefining what is possible. Throughout history, you can trace the fingerprints of these two moralities. Slave morality built religions that exalted poverty and suffering as holy. Master morality built civilizations, charted unknown seas, invented new sciences, forged new empires. Slave morality weeps at injustice, hoping for cosmic retribution. Master morality shapes reality to its will, refusing to wait for unseen forces to set things right. Most people today live under the shadow of slave morality. It is woven into the education systems, the religious doctrines, the cultural narratives. You are encouraged to admire those who suffer quietly and to distrust those who rise boldly. You are taught that ambition is dangerous and that mediocrity is safe. And if you dare to think otherwise, if you dare to want more, to be more, you will be attacked, not just by elites, but by the masses themselves. The herd does not forgive those who escape its gravity, because every act of self-overcoming reminds them of their own chains. You must choose. Will you live by the morality of the herd, or will you awaken the master within you? But understand, master morality comes with a cost. It demands that you create your own values rather than inherit them blindly. It demands that you take responsibility for your life without blaming society, God, fate, or circumstance. It demands that you endure the loneliness of the heights, the resistance of the masses, the burden of true freedom. It is far easier to submit, to complain, to wait for deliverance. But easier does not mean better. Slave morality promises comfort. Master morality promises greatness. One path leads to safety and obscurity. The other, to risk and immortality. The herd will call you arrogant. They will call you cruel. They will call you dangerous. Wear their hatred like a crown. Because only when you abandon the morality of slaves can you begin to live as a creator, a conqueror, a true master of your own destiny. You are not here to apologize for your existence. You are not here to shrink. You are here to rise, not because it is easy, not because it is safe, but because it is the fullest expression of life itself. Once the illusions of virtue and fairness are stripped away, a brutal truth remains. It is not the most ethical who win. It is not the most patient, nor the most hard-working. It is those who understand the machinery of power and have the courage to operate it. History shines brightest, not on the saints, but on the strategists. Those who seized their moment without hesitation, those who did not wait for justice, but imposed their own order upon the chaos. But here lies a subtle and deadly danger. The same ruthlessness that carries a man to the summit often ensures his fall. Look back. Julius Caesar defied the Senate, crossed the Rubicon, and seized Rome itself. But his refusal to share power, to temper ambition with caution, bred resentment among his allies. The Ides of March, a conspiracy of friends and enemies alike, ended his reign with 23 savage thrusts. Napoleon Bonaparte rose from obscurity to dominate Europe. No one matched his strategic genius. Yet intoxicated by success, he grew reckless, launching campaigns he could not sustain, trusting in his own invincibility until he was finally broken at Waterloo. Adolf Hitler clawed his way from a failed artist to the dictator of Germany. Yet his paranoia, his uncontrollable ambition, his blind ideology led not only to his own destruction but the ruin of an entire continent. In each case, the pattern is clear. Power blinds, power isolates, power magnifies weakness. At first, ruthlessness is a weapon, a necessary shield against a hostile world. But once power is achieved, that same ruthlessness often becomes a trap, a relentless compulsion to conquer more, to silence every threat, to trust no one, not even oneself. Nietzsche warned of this descent. The man who fights monsters, he said, must take care not to become a monster himself. And when you gaze too long into the abyss also gazes into you. When power becomes an addiction rather than a means to a greater end, collapse is inevitable. The tragedy of the ruthless is not that they rose. It is that they did not know when to stop. They mistook their temporary victories for eternal invincibility. They believed themselves gods, untouchable, unassailable, inevitable. But the wheel of fortune turns for all. The same forces of envy, fear, and betrayal that they once mastered rise against them with a vengeance. And because they have made no true allies, only subjects, only pawns, there is no one to catch them when they fall. Understand this. It is not enough to rise. It is not enough to conquer. You must master yourself, even more ruthlessly than you master others. The temptation to believe your own myth, to trust your own momentum blindly, is the death knell of every empire, every dynasty, every legacy. The wise strategist knows. Every ascent must eventually plateau. Every empire must consolidate before it expands again. Every ambition must be tempered with reflection, with patience, with calculated retreat. Otherwise, the same qualities that made you unstoppable will make you self-destructive. The fall of the ruthless is not caused by external enemies. It is self-inflicted. The seeds of ruin are planted in the moment of greatest triumph. Unchecked ambition becomes arrogance. Arrogance blinds you to threats. Blindness creates vulnerability. And in the blink of an eye, the empire collapses. Machiavelli understood this. He advised rulers not only to seize power, but to rule with subtlety. Balancing fear with love, ambition with prudence, ruthlessness with mercy. Because the ruler who knows only how to conquer, but not how to consolidate, will soon find himself conquered. The real master of power is not he who rises fastest. It is he who remains standing when all others have fallen. Once you understand that the world is ruled not by fairness, but by power, and once you see that morality has been weaponized to control you, a new question emerges. How should you live? There is an easy mistake to make, and it has destroyed countless men before you. It is the mistake of thinking that now, awakened to the reality of power, you must become a ruthless tyrant. That you must crush, betray, and dominate at every opportunity. But this, too, is a trap. Because unchecked ambition leads not to mastery, but to self-destruction. The true path to power is neither naive obedience nor reckless cruelty. It is strategic mastery. It is the path of those who understand the game without being devoured by it. It is the path of those who can seize power without becoming slaves to it. Mastery is balance. It is the ability to move between ruthlessness and mercy depending on what the situation demands. It is knowing when to strike and when to step back. It is learning to bend the world without shattering yourself in the process. Machiavelli advised rulers to be both lion and fox, to be strong enough to fight when needed, but cunning enough to avoid unnecessary battles. Nietzsche praised those rare individuals who could create their own values, live according to their own laws, and rise above the herd without being consumed by hatred or paranoia. The masters of history were not the most brutal. They were the most adaptable. They understood when to be hard and when to be soft, when to attack openly and when to wait patiently, when to inspire loyalty and when to instill fear. This is the art of power, and it begins inside you. You cannot master others until you master yourself. Your emotions must serve you, not rule you. Your ambitions must be sharpened into purpose, not allowed to explode blindly. Your mind must be disciplined, your instincts honed, your strategies flexible. Power is a double-edged sword. If you wield it without understanding, it will turn against you. If you pursue it without discipline, it will hollow you out from within. The conqueror who knows only how to destroy will soon find himself isolated. The leader who rules only by fear will soon be betrayed. The creator who cannot master his own ego will be undone by it. Real power is invisible. It moves without drawing attention. It shapes without announcing itself. It dominates not through force alone, but through influence, persuasion, perception. The strongest man in the room is often the one who speaks the least, because he knows that true control lies not in words, but in presence. The true path to power demands patience, the ability to endure hardship without losing your mind, the discipline to work silently while others seek applause, the resilience to continue building even when no one notices, until the moment comes when no one can ignore you. Most people fail not because they lack intelligence or ambition or even opportunity. They fail because they cannot endure the lonely, disciplined path that true mastery demands. They crave recognition too soon. They seek power too desperately. They rush when they should wait. They react when they should observe. And so, they are defeated, not by others, but by themselves. You must be different. You must cultivate patience like a weapon. You must build strength silently, invisibly, until the day you no longer need to explain your power, because your very presence will announce it. You must remember, power is not an event. It is a process. It is built moment by moment, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. It is not something you find. It is something you forge. Every day that you master your emotions, discipline your mind, sharpen your strategy, you build invisible power. And one day, when the moment comes, when opportunity appears, you will not hesitate. You will act. You will rise. You will claim what those still asleep in the comfortable lie can never even see. This is your destiny, if you have the courage to seize it. Not by becoming a monster, not by becoming a slave, but by becoming a master of yourself first, and through that, of your world. Power is not given. Power is not inherited. Power is not found. Power is taken. Taken by those who understand the game. Taken by those who refuse to be chained by illusions. Taken by those willing to endure the loneliness of greatness in exchange for the freedom to write their own fate. The world is not waiting to reward you for being good. It is waiting to be reshaped by those bold enough to take the risk. Be bold. Be ruthless, but only when necessary. Be patient. Be strategic. And above all, be the master of yourself. Because only then can you become the master of anything else. If this message disrupted your certainty, good. That means you're thinking. Subscribe to explore more and leave a comment. I see the cage now, because the mind must wake before the world can change.